Good day, students. You're welcome to your online mathematics class with Mr. Ochilon Frisi. If you have not subscribed to my channel, you can do so today so that you can have access to other teachings. The topic we're treating today, factorization of quadratic expressions. Factorization of quadratic expressions. A quadratic expression is an algebraic expression whose highest power of the variables is 2. The general quadratic expression is ax raised to the power 2 plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are constants. From the definition, I said whose highest power of the variables is 2. If you look at the expression, the general expression, you see x raised to the power 2. So when you have any power less than 2, you have linear expression. When you have anything more than 2, you have polynomial. That is, poly means many. A in the expression stands for the coefficients of x raised to the power 2, while b is the coefficient of x and c is a constant term. For instance, x raised to the power 2 plus 4x plus 4, 2x raised to the power 2 minus 7x plus 6, 9 minus y raised to the power 2 are all examples of quadratic expressions. Rules for factorizing quadratic expressions. The first rule is the coefficient of x raised to the power 2 is 1. Find the two numbers, that is factors, whose sum is the coefficients of x and their product is the constant term. Number 2 is if the coefficient of x raised to the power 2 is more than 1, multiply it with the constant term, then do number 1 above. 3. Replace the coefficients of x with the two numbers whose sum is the coefficients of x while the constant term remains in place. 4. Group the resulting expression into 2 and factorize. You group it into 2, you are going to find out that the resulting expression will be 4, and that's why we call it quadratic expression. Quad stands for 4, so you are going to have 4 algebraic terms. The next is factorization of quadratic expressions whose coefficient of x raised to the power 2 is 1. There is a procedure for factorizing this type of algebraic expression or quadratic expression. Example 1. Factorize x raised to the power 2 plus 5x plus 6. Solution: two numbers, that is the factors, whose product is plus 6 and their sum is plus 5 are 2 times 3 will give you 6, that is a constant term, and 2 plus 3 will give you 5, that is the coefficients of x. Then therefore x raised to the power 2 plus 5s plus 6 equals, you now make use of those sums, the factors above, that is 2 and 3. Because if you add 2 plus 3, you are going to have 5. So instead of putting 5 to have only 3 terms, you now bring the 2 and 3 so that you can have 4 terms, so that you have enough terms to do the next operation. So we now have equals x raised to the power 2 plus 2s plus 3s plus 6, which is equal to, so what do? You find the highest common factor of the first group, x raised to the power 2 plus 2s, which is x. So x divide x raised to the power 2 will give you x. You bring it into the bracket, you bring down the plus, s divide 2s, you have 2 because s will cancel out s. You go to the next two terms, you have 3s plus 6. What is the highest common factor? The highest common factor there is 3. You now divide with 3. 3 divide 3s will give you x. 3 divide 6 will give you 2. You now come to the last step. What do? If you look at it where you see that there is a term before each of the brackets, you bring the term and form a bracket. You have bracket open s plus 3, bracket close. Now if you look at the brackets, you see that in each of the brackets we have the same term or the same expression. So we now take 1. That's why we have bracket open s plus 2, bracket close. So that is the result or the answer. Number 2, example 2. Factorize x raised to the power 2 plus 2s minus 3. Solution: two numbers whose product is minus 3 and their sum is plus 2 are minus 1 times 3, which will still give you minus 3, and minus 1 plus 3, which will give you plus 2, because minus 1 plus 3 is plus 2. How does that work? Somebody is owing you 1 naira and the person comes to pay you 3 naira, you are having extra 2 naira. So minus 1 plus 3 equals plus 2. That's your directed number. Therefore, x raised to the power 2 plus 2s minus 3 will now give you x raised to the power 2 minus x, because minus 1 times s will give you minus x, and 3 times s will give you 3s. So you replace that term there, which is 2s, with the two numbers, which is minus 1 and plus 3. So we have s raised to the power 2 minus x plus 3s minus 3. So you now group them into 2 and find the highest common factor. Use the highest common factor in each of them to divide. We now have the highest common factor of s raised to the power 2 and x is x. So s divide s raised to the power 2 will give you x, and x divide s will give you 1. You go to the next. What's the highest common factor there? 3s minus 3. We have plus 3. So 3 divide 3s will give you s. Then 3 divide 3 will give you 1. Because plus divide minus is minus, you have minus there. Then what we did in number 1 above, you also do it here. S at the beginning plus 3. You bring them into one bracket. Then s minus 1, which you can see in each of the brackets, you bring 1 down. So that is the result. The next is factorization of quadratic expressions whose coefficients of s raised to the power 2 is more than 1. Here, you need to apply what I told you in the rules above. Factorize 2s raised to the power 2 minus 7s plus 6. Solution. First, multiply the constant term with the coefficients of s raised to the power 2. Then we have 2 times 6. The constant term is 6, while the coefficients of s raised to the power 2 is 2. So you multiply 2 of them, you get 12 instead of the above 6. So we'll make use of that 12. The two numbers whose product is 12 instead of 6 and their sum is minus 7 are minus 3 times minus 4, which will give us plus 12, and minus 3 plus minus 4, which will give us minus 7. Therefore, 2s raised to the power 2 minus 3s minus 4s. Instead of writing minus 7s, you replace it with minus 3s minus 4s, which is also giving you the same thing, because if you add 2 of them, you get the same minus 7s plus 6. So we now group them into 2. What's the HCF of 2s raised to the power 2 minus 7s? We have x. So x divided 2s squared will give us 2x. Then we'll put down minus. X divided 3s will give us 3. Then we go to the next one. We have minus 4s plus 6. The HCF is minus 2. So minus 2 divided minus 4s will give us 2x. Then minus divide plus will give us minus, while 2 divided 6 will give us 3. So we now have what we have there. Then we now come down and do also what we have done before. Bring the term at the beginning of the first bracket and also at the beginning of the other bracket and bring them together into one bracket. Then you now bring out of the two common algebraic expressions there in the two brackets, you bring one down. So we now have equals bracket open s minus 2 bracket close, bracket open 2s minus 3 bracket close. So what you have here is the exercise to try your ability on what you have learned so far. So ask questions where you are confused. Then after that, I'll give you feedback. At the end of everything, do your exercise and submit. I'm still online with you. Thank you very much.